We're going to do a number of things today. So the first thing I want to do is I had some requests to show, hey Dane, full disclosure time. We welcome full disclosures. I'm very good at that myself. We're going to do an Icx upgrade. So I can't speak to how available Icx software is for... Oh, that's awesome. Heck yeah, man. The more the merrier. You can even stack those together and then you've got two. And we'll probably do that on a stream at some point, but it might require you to get some additional hardware, so we'll talk about that. We're gonna do the upgrade. I want to show you how to do that. I'm gonna upgrade from 90 Delta. I better not stick my foot in my mouth. Hang on. Yeah, we're going from 8090 Bravo, and then we're going to go up to 92. I think it's B or D. I can't remember. But we're going to upgrade that just so I can show you how. I'm going to use a flash drive. This guy right here. It even says Ruckus on it. Somewhere else says CloudPath. We're going to do that. Once we do that, we'll go ahead and I'll show you how to get it tied in and managed by Unleashed. Pretty simple. Well, I say simple. It's supposed to be simple, but I'll pull the guide up and show you what's documented and how to do that. And then after we do that, I'm going to show you how to do a packet capture on your access point using Wireshark, and we're just going to stream, packets straight off of your access point. You can pick them up with Wireshark on your laptop, whatever you want to do. Doing that in the past, I've ran into issues if you're on the same Wi-Fi network. If you're using the Wi-Fi adapter that you're trying to pick the stream up from, I've had issues doing that, so I would recommend that you're wired when you do it. So you're kind of set there. Dane, if you're running 90 Delta, you're good to go. You should be set. Doing the Unleashed management piece of it should be pretty simple. I'll show you kind of a trick on how to do that. It's really easy to get your config back in there. So we'll cover all of that. You'll be good to go. And then after that, what I'm going to do is we're going to take like a quick 5-minute break. And the reason we're going to do that is I need to get some stuff shifted around real quick. I've got some hardware here. We're going to build out. I'm going to show you how to build a very cheap, a very effective home lab. So some of this stuff you're going to need. Some of it you can go big, small. You can go as big as you want depending on how much you want to spend. But I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'll show you all the hardware. We'll do that once we get all of the Icx and Unleashed stuff done. I'm actually really excited about it. It should be fun. Everything's still in the packaging. We'll take it out. I'll take everything apart. I've got to put the RAM and the M2 drive in the NUC. We'll have to build the Synology NAS piece out, so I'll show you how to do all of that. It's really straightforward. It's pretty similar to what I have at home. In fact, it's all the exact same with the exception of the NAS that I have is a little bit smaller for here. Yeah, so that's what we're planning on doing. It should be a lot of fun. I'm pretty excited about it. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. So let's do this. First things first, I'm going to show you what we have here. So there we go. We've got an access point and we've got our Icx. Okay. I'm going to plug this drive in and show you exactly how to do this via USB. It's really simple. So on the drive, I downloaded the software. I extracted the file. I just copied everything directly over to this thumb drive. Okay. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug it in. And when I plug it in, I'll show you. I've already got the console up. I need to do one other thing too. There we go. If you get any feedback, it's the other mic. Maybe I'll turn that off for now. I just have to remember to do that later. All right. Now, that's plugged in. Super simple. Now let's go over here. Okay. Sometimes I like to have some music in my ear when we do this, because why the heck not? Now, one thing I'm doing is I do have traffic streaming via wireless. So there is a client on here. It's my iPad, and it's actually streaming Netflix right now. There's just a movie playing in the background somewhere. So because I wanted to have traffic on there so you could see. And then, yeah, you can see that there's actual traffic going through it. So just so we had a nice little graphical representation of it, you see some traffic on there. Make it nice and pretty, right? So we'll get to that. We're going to get our ICX managed. We're going to get everything else going. But for right now, here we go. So because the USB is in there, this is going to show me the directory for Flash, a show dir. Okay, I'm going to adjust this just a touch so you can see everything there. There we go. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a show dir disk 0. This is what's on the flash drive. Okay, it's what's there. So the first thing I'm going to do, just to kind of check and see where I'm at, is I'm going to do a show flash. Now the show flash is kind of an important thing to look at. Okay, we have 2 partitions on an ICX. Every model of ICX has this. You have a primary partition and then you have a secondary partition. Okay, only one is used at a time. So if I do a show boot, boot preference, this is going to tell me that the boot system preference is default. That means it's going to use primary first, secondary second. One of the biggest things I can tell you to do with this is typically what we would say is, hey, you need to go in and do an upgrade, put it in one of your flash partitions, go ahead and reboot to that flash partition. If anything should go bad and you need to roll back, you have the software there. You don't have to do a copy and get through it in the middle of an outage. You can just roll right back to it. Now you have to pay attention to your boot preference when you do that. So you can change that. You can copy from flash to flash. You can go copy flash, flash. Oops. Oh my goodness, if I could type. And you can abbreviate everything in here. You can say copy from secondary to primary, copy from primary to secondary. Unit IDs, that's where, Dane, if you go in and do stacking on your ICXs and you put both of them together, which means you have 2 ICXs, but they behave as one logical chassis, then you can do it from unit IDs. And we have a lot of videos on that, but if you want to do that in a 7150, I'll show you how. It's a piece of cake, okay? But you can do that. You can copy from one to the other. So what I need to do is, the one thing I don't know if I can do is, okay, so you can go in and show the directory structure as deep into it as you want, okay? Now, one thing I'm going to do is there is a manifest file here. The thing I don't really like is I'm running switch code. I'm not the biggest fan of switch code. I don't know. Dane, are you running switch or router? Do you know? That's designated by this piece. So where it says SPS, the third letter in here says if it's switch code or router code. Whoops. Oh my gosh. If I could highlight just one letter. There we go. You're running switch. Okay. So if I use the manifest file is going to copy whatever is currently running. So since I'm running switch code, it's going to copy the switch code into it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in 2 ways. We'll do this kind of the long way, okay? If I use the manifest file, it's going to update not only the software image, but it'll update the boot image as well. And that's what we need. We need to make sure that boot image is up to date. Once we reboot, it'll update the PoE firmware automatically. You'll be able to see that in the console. So it makes it really super simple to do, okay? So I think I'm going to put my switch code, or I'm going to upgrade the switch code in my secondary flash. I'm going to boot to that. Once I do that and it reboots, I'm going to copy router code into primary, and then I'll just boot to primary, okay? So all we're going to do is we're going to use the copy command, and we'll do copy disk 0 to flash, okay? And then I need the file name. So the file name is pretty simple. It's this manifest file right here, okay? So since it's in disk 0, I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to say disk 0, okay? And we'll do it there. Now, I need to designate where I want this to go. So what I said is I'm going to put it in secondary, we'll boot to secondary, and then we'll get router code running in primary. So I'm going to just say secondary. Okay, and that's it. Could not open. Oh, really? I didn't see that coming. That was weird. Oh, hold on a second. Disk 0, and I need to do a different command. System manifest. Sorry. So it's actually copy disk 0 system manifest. Then we'll do disk 0 / file name. We'll put it in secondary. What? Are you messing with me? I think you're messing with me. Oh, my goodness. So copy from disk 0. Yeah, I think 92 delta is target path depending on what you're doing. So if you have a cloud managed environment, if you have an unleashed managed environment, I can pull the target path up and we'll go through it. I just want to get the software copying. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to do this the hard way because it's not like in that manifest file. So I'm going to do a show drr disk 0 Icx 7150 images. So let's do this. I'm going to do copy disk 0 to flash. And we're going to pull this directory. And I'm just going to pull router directly into primary because I'm over it. And we can do the boot version here in a second. I'll show you how to do this. Primary. Why can't you open that file? Is this disk corrupted? There might be something wrong with this flash drive. All right, well, let's do this. Do this the old-fashioned way. Yeah, it says there's something wrong with it. Yeah, I think there's something wrong with this disk. It's given me... Okay, repair it. I don't really know what this is going to do, but one thing I need to check while we're sitting here. Go to downloads. I wonder if I have that software already downloaded, already unzipped. I probably deleted it because I usually do. Yep, I don't have it. Okay. Okay, so it says it was fixed. Let's see if it was actually fixed or not. I can delete that. There. Well, let's try this again. This, what we call this is called Murphy's live stream law. Because it never fails. All right, plugged in. I wonder if it just doesn't want the disk 0 in there. That could be why. That's why. It doesn't want the disk 0. It already implies that directory, so. Yeah, and you can do that too. I usually leave the directory structure intact because if I use this USB in multiple models of ICXs, and I know for home use that doesn't really matter, so you can just peel a 7150 directory out, dump it in there, you're done. I have to touch multiple different models, so that's usually why I'm doing it that way. But this is just as simple. So copy disk 0 flash, and then the ICX directory name, and that'll dump that software in there. And then what I'm going to do is manually update the boot image as well, because we need to make sure that we cover that, and then I'll reboot it, and it'll be up and running 92D. Now, while that's happening, target path. Let's see here. Since you brought up a great point, Dane, let's look at this thing. Let's get this target path document open. They keep this thing really well updated. I like it. So let's see here. I'm just gonna make that a little smaller. Document history. All right, 7150. So the target path is 90 delta. Now, there should be notes in here if... Well, maybe not. I think 90D for the... Oh, C12P, yep, 90D. So this will get you Unleash support is what it's after, and that's what we need. I'm just doing the upgrade to do the upgrade. Right, just to show you the process, that's how we do it. So the image file is one, the boot image file will be another one, and then that should be... Okay. And then let me think about this here. What else? Dane, how you been? Did you have a good week? You ready for, are you taking some time off next week? All right, let's see here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a dir disk 0 / ICX 7150. And I don't need firmware. I need images. Oh, that's really weird. I thought the boot software was in here, but it's not. Not in there. Okay. So I guess we're not upgrading the boot software. Oh, it already did. It pulled it as part of the UFI. Oh, that's because it's UFI. Okay, it's Thursday. It's been a bit of a long week, a long month. I'm going to make all the excuses I can so that you guys don't make fun of me. Yeah, it's UFI. So, okay, so that's what we have. UFI images. I'm a spaz today. You'll have to forgive me. So that's done. We're good to go. Now all we need to do is just do a write memory and we're going to reboot it. But because this is going to reboot, one thing I thought we would do is let's do this. So I'm going to go in and do Ruckus managed ICX. Let's do this. Because we're going to have to do a full reset on it, right? As you can see, for Unleashed management, you need to be running 8090 or later. Dane, you're running 90 delta. Okay, so we're going to do erase system factory default, and when we do that, the Unleashed access point should pick it up. Now, one thing I need you to note when we do this, there is no configuration in this device other than the VLAN that I configured, okay? I can recreate that very easy, so what I'm going to do is I'm essentially just going to go in here and I'm going to do a copy of this. So you would take, what I would do if I were you, is I would go in here and I would take the entire config, right? You could even do it stack unit 1. I wouldn't even do that. I'd go below the stack and I would take the first line of config that you have and copy it, okay? And then we're just gonna paste it into Notepad. That's it. That simple. Okay, now we're gonna do these commands that showed up here. So we're gonna do the erase system factory default. And because this, you have to reboot for the software upgrade to take effect. So if I do a show flash, we see 92 is installed on flash, but if I do a show version, it's gonna show you the version that's currently running, which is 90B, okay? Well, we have to do the reboot. So I'll copy this command out, paste it in. It's going to say, hey, we have to reload. Okay, reload. So it's going to do two things. When it does this, it's going to perform the actual software upgrade, but it's also going to perform these. It's going to do the U-boot parameters will be erased. So that one we're not worried about. All configuration will be erased. You might want to back up the config. So that's what we just did. We just did a copy and paste into Notepad. Core files and logs will be erased. So if you have logs that are in there that are important, you're going to want them. Home use, you probably don't. Core files are just if you get a core dump, so if something happens, it does a core dump and then it reboots for whatever reason, those will be erased as well. So you can't actually pull those out and give those to support anymore. But that shouldn't be too big of a deal. The SAU license will be restored and then the XML license will be erased. So, okay, we're good. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now the access point is directly attached to this device. Okay, even though it's not my primary ICX, there's one sitting back behind it. I don't know. I don't know if you can see, my camera's not reacting. What the heck's going on? It's like frozen. Hang on a second. Yeah, that's you. Wakey, wakey. And just went to sleep. Wow. Well, we'll have to get that figured out. I don't know why it's doing that, but I had weird issues yesterday too. OBS has been doing some pretty strange things to me. Maybe we'll do high bandwidth, and maybe we'll do source timing. Wow, that is not having it. Let me flip this around real quick. I want to make sure that it wakes up. Oh. I know why. It's on the wrong Wi-Fi network. I guess I could do this one. Think of it. We'll see if it wakes up now. Nope, doesn't want to play ball. Okay, we'll go back to it. I mean, you can see it, so I'm not overly worried about it, but it's there. So we need this one. All right. So still rebooting. I also need to have, we have Unleashed up back here. The switches. It says it's disconnected. We're going to want to double check a couple things. So we'll want to make sure that the IP address is correct and then the MAC address is correct. So we'll double check those when it comes up. But for the most part, it should be fine. What I'll have to do is I'll have to get everything in the appropriate VLAN. You won't have to do this because everything in your house is probably flat by default. So it won't really affect you because it's all in VLAN 1. I have a separate VLAN for right now. Not next week. We're not going to do a stream next week. We'll do one the following week. I'm not going to do one on Thanksgiving. And we're not going to do one on Wednesday on YouTube either because I think a lot of people are taking time off. And I highly doubt they want to take a break from their day off to come join a live stream. So we'll work around that. But the following week, I'll have everything flattened out. It'll be in VLAN 1. We'll be able to start creating our VLANs and go from there. So it'll be pretty slick. I might have to create some to get some of the stuff working. I'm going to get as far as I can with this lab equipment that I have because I want to get the NAS set up because I need somewhere to store these recordings for one. And also, two, I want to show you at least how to get ESXi installed on there. You can go to VMware and obtain one single ESXi license. I think it's 6.5. So that way you have a hypervisor. You can get VMs running. So we'll do some different stuff with that and then go from there. Dane, no, you are not required to run router code to use VLANs. You are required to use router code if you need VLAN router interfaces. So VEs, things like that. You can't configure those if you're running switch code. So if you need to create a VLAN and then have a subnet configured and attached with that VLAN, you'll need to run router code. If you wanted to run something like OSPF, or if you really wanted to run BGP and a 7150 C12P, you could. Running router code, but you can't do that in switch code. But VLANs, absolutely. You can build VLANs all day long in switch code. That's exactly what it's for. All right, so we do get this pop-up. It's going to upgrade firmware on here. which is great. We want it to do that, so we're gonna let that run, and then I don't know. You can still manage this thing. So since we reset it, we're gonna do it. The default is super. Oh no. Super, and the password is sp-admin. And then we'll have to create a new one. Okay. So what I need to do real quick while it's doing this is... oh, it did pick up a address. So 9544. So let's see if this guy updated. So unleashed. Oh. What I want this to do is I need everything in VLAN 50 because that's what's built in here right now. So that should make it reachable. And I can ping the gateway. Perfect. So that's what I need. Okay. Now we just have to... Oh. It just flat booted me out of there, didn't it? The EP just powered off. Yeah, you can do it via Telnet. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So I think what happened is this thing just got snagged by one of our smart zone controllers, and I really didn't want it to do that. That's why. Ugh. That's not what I wanted it to do. Do not. Oh, it just got grabbed by cloud. That's not what I wanted it to do. So this is going to be entertaining. So the 92D actually gives you cloud control management for the Icx. And so what I'm going to have to do is, yeah, I know. I can break into it. So I can get into the boot monitor of it. I can kind of boot in and boot it into secondary so that it's running 90D, and then we'll copy that back up. So I wanted to show you the upgrade process. Everything that's going on right now, ignore it. You need to run 90. That's it. 90 Delta. And don't go any higher than that because you don't need cloud management on this thing. So if I have to break this thing and get into boot monitor, I will. And I'll just boot it to the other partition. I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. I knew something was going to grab it. Either cloud or smart zone. So we'll see. It highly depends on if I can get into this thing when it comes back up. Yeah, if you're running 90D, stay there. Don't go anywhere else. Stay put. Let me see if this NDI cam is going to respond. Nope. That's really strange. I don't know why it's killing that source. Normal. Man, that's crazy. I don't know why on earth this thing is giving me so many fits. Something every time it does it. I don't know why or what or where or when, but it does it. So let's see. Are there any filters on it? No. Muted. Not muted. Now it's muted. Well, and I obviously can't restart OBS because it'll kill the stream, and I'm not going to do that. So, well, whatever. We'll leave it. I'll try and get it fixed before I need it for the other part of the stream. So, we'll see how that goes. But it's on the right network. Okay, well, I guess it just wants to mess with me today. Hey, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Come back every Thursday. That's where we'll be. In fact, we're actually thinking about, Brian and I've talked about this a little bit. We've talked about even moving the Wednesday live streams from YouTube over to Twitch. I don't know what we're going to do yet. We haven't decided, so. You butthead. I knew that was going to happen. Yes, I just said butthead on a live stream. Make fun of me all you want. Well, I don't know what it wants. Well, we'll let the firmware upgrade go. Oh, you can't see that. I'll let that go for a minute, and then we'll get it loaded back up. So once that piece is done, we'll get it managed via Unleashed. Maybe. Because right now it's updating the PoE firmware. That's why I don't have an Unleashed access point. So it's going to take a minute to kind of get it rolling. And to go from there and wait for it. So. All right, let's see here. NDI cam fixed. Maybe it's this. Hold on, let me check something real quick. It could be. Nope. It's not that. Sorry, bear with me. There's always a technical difficulty somewhere. And for some reason, the NDX cam gives me ridiculous fits. And it really shouldn't. Okay, well, let's do this. Hide it. Add it. Whoa. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, we're almost there. So I do have to wait for this PoE firmware to finish. Then I'll have to reboot it, and then we'll break in and I'll boot it into secondary. I'll put router 90D router on it. Actually, I'm just going to put switch code on it because I don't think it really matters. We're just managing it. And then we'll be able to go from there. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And then we'll do the packet captures. I can't do the packet captures until I get the the ICX restored, which, you know what? Sometimes you need to kind of see how this stuff likes to mess with you, because that's what it does. It messes with me. But I would be like the perfect beta tester, because if you handed me something and said, here, stress test this thing to death and make sure that it works or it doesn't work or you can break it, I would probably find a way to do that. So yeah, I enjoy that. Like the complete opposite of constructing something, I could probably deconstruct it and it would be completely accidental and inadvertent. So that's why when I mess around with our internet stuff at home, I always have to do it after the kids go to bed, and then it's like 1 o'clock in the morning and my wife's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just trying to fix what I broke. I'll be done in a bit. Fly off on this indie icon. I'm gonna see if I can get this. Okay. Whoa. Okay, let's try this again. Yep, I will. So basically all I'm going to do is with this notepad file when it's done, what I would do essentially is I would go in here on the top and I would type config T. And then I would recopy this whole thing. So I'll just hit, this IP address doesn't need to be in there because we're going to pull one via DHCP. But I would just, if it was yours, take everything that's there, Control A, Control C. And then when it's done, I'm just going to go in and actually I'll show you an exact example of doing this. I just need to reboot this real quick. So give me a second. Ow, that was my funny bone. All right, so there's a trick here. We've got to wait for one thing. It's going to tell us to enter boot monitor. And it's right there. So we can look at this and do a question mark. When you see enter B to stop at boot monitor, all you do is hit B, and then that's it. So we are going to do oh boy, I have to find the command and boot secondary. Right, because it's this command right here. This is all we're using. Okay, so boot secondary. Enter that. It's going to reboot from secondary flash. So it's going to get around the fact that we were booted into primary. It was the wrong version. Ruckus Cloud was trying to manage it. So we're just going to dump that all together and then boot it back into secondary. And I'll go in. We'll get the VLAN configured. In fact, I'm going to do, Dana, I'm going to take this whole thing. I'm just going to copy and paste it in there so you'll see it. And yours, the entirety of it, you'll be able to do that. It'll be fine. Okay. I'm assuming you don't have VEs and stuff configured in yours, so this will roll in there pretty well, but usually there's different triggers in here. So like VLAN 50, it's going to tell me, okay, put this command in, and then after that it's going to go out and you'll say, oh, no telnet server. Well, maybe I want a telnet server. So you can take pieces of this config that you want, and you can take these commands out because it's just going to copy and paste them in the way it is. Okay, but usually if you copy this out and you paste it back into the whole thing, then you're good. Nope, it won't affect anything because if we roll back to 8090D, it's essentially going to remove the commands and the ability for Ruckus Cloud to manage it. So that wasn't introduced until 8092. So those commands are gone. It'll remove that cloud management piece. We'll go right back to just the plain old default that we had before. So it makes it pretty simple. And if I had a penny for every time I've had to do this, you would be probably not surprised after watching this. Tends to happen quite often. So. But yeah, it won't affect it. So we'll be good to go after that. Makes it pretty nice. I was going to look at something here real quick. Ooh. All right, so here's the question. I was going to build a poll and ask this, but I'm going to ask chat. So, do you enjoy watching a live stream on Twitch more, or do you enjoy watching one on YouTube more, or do you just not care? Just stream the content, record it, post it so we can watch it. Do you have preferences? I'm kind of curious on that. No pref? Okay, that's what I figured. Yeah, it's weird. It's really easy to find videos on demand that you want to watch on YouTube, right? If you need to figure out how to fix your sprinkler system, you can find anything. If you're running a live stream there, it tends to be a little bit harder to find. And that's one of the reasons why I like Twitch for it, because you can go in and just drop everything and stream it there. And people go to Twitch to find live streams, so you kind of get a little bit different viewership and people that are looking for that live content. But then we'll also take the content, it's all recorded, and then we'll just go ahead and clean it up a little bit, put it on YouTube. It's still there. So. And it is. Last week's is there. I posted that. There was a request on the forums this morning, so I went ahead and posted that one. All right. Oh, no. Really? What just happened? 90B. Oh, I know what I did. Really? Wow, it just flat nuked that thing. That was nice of it. I forgot to bypass the password. So if you look in here, no password, so we'll do this again. I don't want to power cycle this thing yet until this firmware update says that it's actually done. 218 recommended 211 update required. Last thing I want to do is brick this thing right in the middle of it. I'm going to give it another minute. If it doesn't tick over, then I'm going to go ahead and just power cycle it. Go in, do no password, boot. Oh, there we go. Okay, 50% complete. What I should have done is set up stream raiders so that we could go in and do that while this was running. Because, I mean, Twitch is a gaming platform, so stream raiders is kind of cool. I'll probably set that up next time just for a fun little break in the middle of it. I don't even know how it works. I was going to go look at it and see, but I guess we'll find out. Right. I don't know. I tried the password that I set it to and it didn't take it. So I'm not really sure what happened, but I'll show you how to bypass it. So if you ever forget your password, you don't have to lose your config. You can reboot it, go into boot monitor, just do no password. Then you can get into it and remove this stuff in there that wants to make that password in there or wants to ask you for a password. I'll show you how to bypass that. And then you can go into it and manage it however you want. So The only thing is you can't do it via Telnet or SSH. You have to do it via the console. So you have to have a cable connected from your laptop or your PC into the ICX, and then you can do it. Makes it pretty simple. I should have realized to not put 92 on here. But you know what? If nothing else, Dane, I'm just going to blame you because you wanted to see the upgrade process. I'm totally kidding. I'm happy to show it to you. And, you know, going through this stuff too helps you see how you have to kind of unscrew some of this stuff too. So leave it to me. If something's going to break, I'll break it. I'm pretty good at it. So. Oh yeah, I love it when I have to do that, and it sucks. Now I used to love going to Micro Center. I'd drive the 20 or 30 minutes. Now it'll take me like an hour and 15 minutes to get there, and I'm just like, oh, this is a bummer. But I think at some point, what I'm going to do, my son's 11, he's kind of into PC gaming, so I think at some point we're going to make a trip down there and probably start picking some parts out and get him a tower built. So I'm sure I'll make the drive down there eventually. Plus, I know he wants to like see and touch stuff, so kind of show him how everything's going. Yeah, exactly. I'm definitely planning on going down there a little overweight and coming back a lot underweight. So we'll see how that goes. That's the problem with that place is you can go in there. It's like Target. You go in there and you need one thing, and you come out with 20. You're like, what? How did I just spend $150? Oh, I know how, because I'm a moron. I just spent entirely too much money, and I shouldn't have. Yes, it is. In fact, if you're looking for something on Steam that's kind of fun right now, Last Epoch is in beta, and it's a little bit cheaper, so... Okay, so we enter boot, we did no password. It's going to skip the password check when the system comes up, and then we're going to do boot secondary again. That'll reboot it. We'll be able to get into it. I'll remove the password requirement stuff, just because I don't want it in there, and I don't want it to pop back up and bite us if we have to do a reboot again. And then we should be good to go. So now I say that. We'll see. You never know. That AP is probably going to either catch on fire or just give up on us because it's been powered off 30 times. So hopefully it just pops back up and we don't have any issues with it. Now, one thing about this too is this is kind of nice because 7150s, the C12Ps do reboot pretty quick. There are some that don't. So I've had, 7250s and 7450s sometimes take a little bit longer. So that would really make this stream drag on. So I'm glad you're bearing with me. It's very, very helpful and very appreciated. So, okay. Hurry up. Take your time. You know what's funny? Is... So, my iPad that's streaming the movie, as soon as that access point died, it hopped immediately over to the AP that's attached to my smart zone here. So it didn't even miss a beat. It just jumped right over. Okay. We're in it. Woohoo! We got there. That's what I like to see. So, oops, I'm going to do a couple things. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of this out. So this AAA authentication, enable AAA console, username, all that's coming out. So no user admin, no enable. And then I'm going to take this out too, because that's what's requiring that password, and that's what I want out of there. Okay. Oops. No in TP. There we go. So now we have a blank canvas config, right? Got an IP address. I can do a write mem. It's all there. It's done. So the other thing I was going to show you, Dane, is if you do this and you have this whole thing in here, I'm going to just copy and paste this whole thing in here. Done. So now it basically just copied in VLAN 50 is all it did. That's it. Just like that. Nothing to it. Oh, Ruckus Cloud just told me that the Icx disconnected. Okay, so it was attached to my cloud instance, which is good, and I think that's because it was attached to it before. So it already knew about it, it was already approved. I probably just need to go in there and remove it, which is fine. So let's see, let's make sure we can ping the gateway, which we can. See if Unleashed is back up yet. It might not be. It's still booting, so it might take a second. Yeah, it's still booting. Oh no, it's back. All right. Advanced. Accept. Yeah, it's still in the boot up, so it might not get there all at once, but it's getting there. It might actually be where we need to be with it here pretty quick. Yeah, pretty simple config in here. Nothing crazy to it. If this is at home, you can run Telnet. I mean, SSH is on by default. If you have PuTTY, SSH to it. SSH is recommended because if I'm sitting here and I need to log into a device and manage it that's in Boston, right? And I SSH out to it, that session is encrypted, so nobody can kind of steal all the information like my username and password. Telnet's plain text, so that's why we recommend SSH, and that's why in 90 SSH was turned on by default. Prior to that, you had to enable it. But at home use, things like that, you want to use Telnet, you can. SSH, it's the same thing. It really is. It makes it super simple to do. Okay. So LLDP, we have, let's see, Ruckus Live. We see our access point. That's good. So now, let's see clients attached. Let's see what. Yep, it's still not ready to show us yet, so that's fine. Oh. Get this iPad back on the right one. Okay. Now I think we're good to go. Okay, I lied. Oh my goodness, you gotta be kidding me. There we go. Just took a little bit of finagling, was all. Okay, so switches right here. Total 1 says it's disconnected, right? Sees the IP address, sees everything. So what we're gonna do is, well, I'd like to approve it. Edit. Let's make sure all this information matches. 95.44. 95.44. Okay, so it may take a few minutes. Oh, connecting. There we go. So it's already updated. It should be popping in there here any minute. Which would be really nice to see. Summary. Don't know if this tells us that it's doing it. Pending. Okay, pending. Unable to log into the switch with default credential. Please provide admin username and password of switch to continue. Well, fine. Let's do this. User admin, password, Ruckus 101. Now let's see what happens. Oops. I can taskbar. I don't even need it on there. Uh-oh. PZ, if you need to post a link, let me know what it is, and I can permit you to do it. You just have to tell me what it is first. Yeah, I'll show you what the upgrade option is. So, connecting. Actually, we're gonna find out together because I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, Nightbot gets a little whiny if you try to post links because it blocks them. But if you tell me what it is, I'm more than happy to permit you to do it. But you just have to tell me what it is. So. And I wonder, so if I go to admin and services, and I go to upgrade, admin, upgrade, I think you have to load firmware. Let's see. Once it's fully connected, let's see what happens. Pending. Oh, it's not incorrect. Come on, man. Ask your AP question, man. Go for it. That's what I'm here for. Ruckus 101. It's not going to take it. You watch. While I'm fighting with this, watch this. I'm over it. I want to copy that. Yep, what's your AP question? Let's have it. I'll help you out. If I can. I'm going to have to erase this thing again. You watch. It's not going to take it. Because it has some goofy password in there, and once I changed it, it got all mad. Unknown AP. Yeah. Basically what that does is it just kind of fends off whatever channels they're running on, so it kind of cleans up the space inside. But yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's not gonna harm anything. It won't affect their APs. It won't affect yours. It'll basically just write them off as they're unimportant and ignore them. Because if you look through the logs, you'll see how much chatter is in there. But it basically just ignores them is all it does. So, because you can mesh over the air. So a lot of those, it'll try to pull an AP in and mesh with it. And since you're in a Lennar neighborhood, you're probably seeing more. So it's just basically ignoring them. Yep. Yeah, that's all you need to do. It basically just tells them, bye-bye, go away, I'm sick of you. That's pretty much it. So it makes it easy. Oh, yeah, then that's a lot of APs. So now you don't have to worry about them. It basically just blocks them out as rogue APs. It won't ever let them join your mesh. If anybody does something silly and it's out there and you have meshing turned on, one of them won't try to mesh over the air. You're not grabbing your neighbors, anything like that. So it keeps it pretty sane and closed off. So, yep, you're good. Mine are all sitting on different VLANs, so it doesn't. I don't actually see any, but I don't live in a Lennar neighborhood. We're moving to a neighborhood where there are Lennar homes, but I don't know of any ones right around our house that I don't know. I guess I'll find out when I get there and see. You know what I mean? All right, let's do this again from default. So we're going to do the erase system factory default. I'm doing this straight default. I want to see what happens. So we're going to do this in 90. I'm running. No, hold on. Don't do that. Okay. So this is what you would do if you were running just at home on your own, whatever. Here you go. Okay. We'll reboot it. It's going to do the factory reset. It'll come up. Unleash should grab it. I need to make a quick note of something real quick. Try to keep a little note tally going so I know when to chop the video up and grab highlights of it. So That way, if you need to go back and reference this on the good old YouTube, you can. At the very least, at least we got an upgrade done. So 1 out of 4 so far, not bad. Oh, goodness. What I might do tomorrow afternoon at like, I don't know, 1 o'clock. Brian Stewart's doing a YouTube stream in the morning. So I'll be on that one to just kind of help moderate chat. And that's really cool. If you're interested in like routing and switching protocols and things like that, it's a good thing to join. That one's going on. I can get you the link for it. And then, I don't know if he has it built yet though. I guess that's a good question. You go see. If he does, I'll put the link in here. That was 6 days ago. Nope, he doesn't have the session built yet. But go to this channel, grab it. He'll be doing that tomorrow, and then maybe around 1 o'clock tomorrow, something like that, I might jump in and we'll finish up the lab stuff, because we're going to be able to get all of this stuff at least put together, and then tomorrow we can go through and I'll get everything IP'd. We'll get IPs on the NAS, we'll get ESXi installed, we'll start to do some of that stuff. So we'll do the physical build today, and then we can do some more fun stuff with it tomorrow. So maybe around 1 o'clock I'll kick a stream off and we can do that then. That might be better. Maybe. Oh, wait. I might not be able to do that tomorrow. I might have to do it earlier, because I might have to take half a day off tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. Let me see how my night goes. We'll see. You never know. So. All right. Come on. This is only the 17th time we've rebooted this thing. I'm sure it's sick of us by now. But Unleashed will grab it and manage it and make it happy. We'll just go from there. Yeehaw. We're getting there. We're close. Almost ready. I'm going to take this out. Because that's all I need. Dump that in right away. Come on. I think what it is this thing is just flat sick of us. Oh, it triggered a manifest update because the USB is plugged in. That's exactly what just happened. I'm about sick of this thing. Oh, you know what? I can prevent it from getting picked up by cloud though, because I just disconnected it. So we'll get it. We'll get around it. I've got a plan here. Let's see if my NDI camera came back. Ooh. This one? No, it's that one. It did not come back. Well, that's going to be interesting later. I guess we'll see what happens. And it just froze this thing, I think. All of this to manage this switch via Unleashed, if you can believe that. it's blinking. I don't know what it's doing now. Yeah. Is that a dumpster? Because it should be. Panic basket. This is pretty much just borderline dumpster fire at this point. So, hey, nothing else. At least it's entertaining to watch somebody else flail around and fail at things, right? I believe the video on demand for this is going to require heavy editing. I don't think I'm going to put this up to raw. What really bugs me is my NDI cam isn't working, because I kind of need that thing to work so that we can do... Man. Well, let me do this. Oh, it came back! It just moved. Alright, let me do this. NDI source. We're going to do new... Wow. It's just flat out not going to work. Oh, no. That is not a good message to get, man. That's terrible. Oh, if this NDI cam's not going to work, how am I going to get this thing done? Ugh. Okay, well, whatever. We'll figure it out. I don't envy you for having to deal with SQL servers. I really don't. Oh, yeah, if it's not production, who cares? I mean, not who cares. You still have to deal with it, but it's still a headache, right? What is going on with this thing? I know you think I'm belaboring this point, but seriously, if I can't get this NDI cam to work, it's really going to kind of hose up a lot of different things, which I'm not exactly looking forward to. So I'm going to do something real quick. Dual connect here and see if I can get this thing to wake up. Well, you are a braver, much braver soul than I am, because anytime I have to do anything with SQL at home, like MariaDB or anything, I'm Googling the living daylights out of that thing, trying not to screw it up. So, why? Why won't you work? What is wrong with you? Why is there always something with this NDI camera? It drives me bananas. Actually, I think I have a way to kind of nudge it. Let's see if this works. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Well, oh, it did work. Okay, hold on. We might be in luck. Let's see what happens. Nope, it's not having it. Well, I don't know what your deal is, so I'm going to reboot my phone. All right. The Icx is rebooted. I'm going to remove all the cloud managed stuff because that will actually get us completely around that. And then we can get this thing managed, so I think we'll be good. And I'm also going to remove the USB drive because that's what did it. So if you do a erase factory default, it will essentially go in and just completely erase it. And if you have a USB drive plugged in there and the software versions differ, it's going to pull whatever's on that USB drive and do an automatic upgrade to it. So, I mean, keep that in mind. Especially, it's kind of nice if you have a lot of our PS guys, if they have a stack of them sitting there, they'll usually just sit there and grab a drive and get everything on it, plug them in, erase factory default, reboot them, and just let them all reboot and upgrade, and then they're good to go after that. So, all right, let's see if we can get anywhere with this one. Nope, get back here. I'm going to bore you with this view one more time. Apologies. Okay, so if I disconnect that, it still wants to use the wrong source. That source is no longer even online. Thanks a lot for nothing, NDI. You and your darn free software. Well, maybe I'll have to use my iPad to do it. Guess we'll see. All right. And we're up. Okay, what I want to do is, while this is updating firmware again for the 300th time, this manage registrar, that's what made Cloud pick it up. So I'm going to take that out. Okay, so it's disabled. So Cloud won't pick it up. Smart Zone won't pick it up. None of the controllers will try to pick it up. And then I don't need to try and log into this thing either. So that's done. That's done. So it's plugged back in. Cloud's not going to try and grab it. I can do my VLAN config. Now, Unleash should pick it up. We should be good to go. This thing is going to be tall enough to get an iPad in here, but I'm going to try because this thing seemed to want to use this. Man, this case hasn't been off of this iPad since I bought it. And it's an old one, Mini 4 thing. See if I can do this without breaking the screen. Go full Hulk mode on it. Ugh, that hurts. Oh. Haha. Oops. Man, I'm a hot mess today. I'm messing everything up. like a delicate bounce. Don't bump it because it'll fall down and break everything. Okay. Once that firmware is updated, we can get back into Unleashed. Can make sure that thing's working. Let's see what this guy's doing now. Let's see how our iPad shows up. No, it doesn't. How awesome is that? Whew. Okay. Apparently nothing's going to work today. It's just going to be like... Oh, that's because we're not on Wi-Fi. That would help. Ah, there we go. See? I knew we could make something work. That helps a ton. See? Look at that. Okay, I'm happy. Got my NDI source back so we can see everything. Get that USB drive out of there because I'm over it. I can go back to the demo view. Don't bump that. Dane, don't come in here and bump that because it'll fall down. We got it working. Barely. Yeah, now it's actually working. Like lights are blinking and everything. So it's a functioning NDI camera. I don't know. Last night I was doing a stream on YouTube and OBS decided I checked everything because I always check all my overlays before I start. Cameras are working. Everything's working. Go to start it. Camera dies. No rhyme or reason to why. It just died. So I have two different scene collections in here. One for YouTube, one for Twitch. I don't know if that messes with it. I have no idea. But it just... Sometimes something grabs it. Sometimes something doesn't. It really just depends on what's going on. So maybe during the quick break when I reset everything up, I'll kind of relook at that. But I don't know, man. I mean, it's always something. It never fails, so... We're getting close. All right. Let's see what happens here. Oh, I lost my putty session. Is this thing done yet? You guys got to be sick of waiting on me. Okay, it's up. It's working. I can prove it. There's a red light. See? It's live. All right, we're getting there. So now, once this guy comes up, we'll make sure it gets managed and unleashed, which it should. If it doesn't, then we're going to have to play with that another day because I don't want to keep burning this thing to death. I know it can be a bit of a challenge because you do have to do that erase factory on it. Makes it quite the challenge. I might have a way to get around that next week. Maybe I'll do just a random stream on Monday or Tuesday. Go through and start building some of the stuff out, making it sing. So, because we do have with this home lab stuff that we're doing, there is a lot of stuff to be done there. So I want to make sure that we do actually get to all of that. That's going to be a bit of a challenge. So let's make sure we get those pieces done. Okay, so this guy's up. Unleashed is coming up. So I don't think we'll get to packet captures today. I will be able to do them next time. Packet captures are really cool. It'll actually show you what your data rate is for your clients in Wireshark. So once you go in and kind of tear some of these packets open, you can see what the data rates are. I know speed tests are one thing, but it shows you from the client to the AP what that data rate is. So it'll kind of tell you what's going on in your environment. Honestly, you guys are probably more interested in that than you are the home lab piece. So maybe we'll do it real quick. And then maybe I'll start on the home lab stuff after that. I'm not in a hurry. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. So we'll just kind of keep running it and see what happens. Okay. I'm not going to be impatient this time. I'm going to wait. Oh, I did it. I dropped it and broke it. Yeah, chat's a little quiet. You guys are shy today, so I guess this is your show, Dean. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. Doing the packet capture thing is actually really easy, and it's really quick. Kind of like attaching your Icx switch to Unleashed. It's very quick. Oh my gosh, I'm full of terrible jokes. All right, switches. Failed to ping 44. Let's see what address this guy got. Should have got the same address. Oh, it got no address. I gotta figure out how to... Well, if this thing isn't going to grab an address... Okay. That'll make it work. Now it should be able to ping it at least. And it does take a second to catch up, so it's got to grab it and go. Hurry up and wait. Oops. 9544, that's the address that we gave it, right? 9544. Okay. Well, while it's doing that, let's do this. Oh, here we go. Let's see how this does. IPs in my rogue device list of type ad hoc. So what are those? Those are probably the other access points. So usually a rogue device would be a rogue AP. And they're going to display, even though you put them as malicious, they're still going to display in there. And that's just the AP's way of detecting other access points out there. So it's a defense mechanism. It basically just says you're not welcome here. So it's probably not hurting anything. It's just telling you that they're there. I wouldn't use it as cause for alarm, Dane. I think you're probably fine. But if you see those things getting in there and maybe trying to attach to your network or do anything of the sort, then you might want to take some precautions against that just with your meshing, but you should be fine. I mean, it's not going to allow it to attach. Yeah, ad hoc is usually just a device. So Sometimes that can be a client that'll actually function as a tethered device. So it really just depends on the capability of the device, really. I mean, that's about it. But it shouldn't cause you any harm on that device. It's just detecting everything that's out there, telling you that it's there. But you don't need to do anything to mitigate that. It shouldn't be affecting anything that's going on in there. Yeah, it really could. And there are times and environments where they can become intrusive. But based on how you're built, I don't think you're going to have an issue with that. Nope, you should be okay. Let's see if this thing tells me it opened it. Nope, it didn't. Okay. All right, let's do this while this thing's coming up. I'm going to go down here to admin and services and find IP settings. 95.29 is what we have. So in here, I'm going to go to new session. I'm going to SSH into this access point. So I'm going to go 182.168.8.95. Oh, hang on. Where am I? Packet capture. All right, let's do some packet captures. So I'm going to go ahead and do open. We'll get into it. Enable. Okay, we're in it. So what I'm going to do is here we go. So what we need to do is we need to do AP mode. Oh, you probably can't see that very well, can you? Let me make that big. Change settings. Appearance. Change. 14. There we go. That's much better. Okay, we're in AP mode. So what we're going to do is set capture Wi-Fi 0 stream. And why am I doing that? Because if I do get WLAN list, we can see our WLANs in there, but Wi-Fi is the actual radio. So we want to go in and do a capture on it. So I'm going to do set capture Wi-Fi 0 stream. Okay, so now what it's doing is it's capturing, and all we have to do now is go in, and I'm going to open up Wireshark. Okay, and first thing you should do is go to capture and options. And we're going to go to output. So these files can get pretty big if you're doing captures for a long time. So we're going to create a new file after every 100 megabytes. Okay. And then I'm going to browse here. I've got a folder set up in documents right here already in captures. And I'm just going to call it live unleashed cap. Okay. So it'll save it to that file. So if we need to go back and reference it, we can. Okay. Now under input, we need to go in here and do manage interfaces. Oh, you know what I need to do? Hold on. I got to disconnect my Wi-Fi or it's going to screw me up. Okay. We have local interfaces here, but we need to go to remote interfaces and we're going to add one. Okay. And we're going to add 192.168.95.27, which is our access point. So you just add that. Right, and we can verify that if we go back to Unleashed. Oh, it's 95.29. I'm glad I caught that. Okay. Null authentication is fine. You don't need to authenticate it. The stream is being sent no matter what. So we'll just say OK. And it should load and populate these interfaces that exist on there. Okay, so now we have them all. So all of these are available. We can basically do anything, capture all these we want. We'll just say OK. Okay, so they're there. And then if we go here, now when we do input, we're going to go down here and we're going to select, let's do, where's Wi-Fi 0? So we'll grab this one, Wi-Fi 0, and we'll hit start. Okay. And if we look right here, we see all of that traffic happening right there. Boom, just like that. Okay. And it just keeps going. I can stop it. Can look at all these frames. You can see everything that's going on in there. We can open up the 802.11 radio information. You see your frequency, dBm, and check this out. We see the data rate. So the data rate will show up in there. Now the cool thing is you can actually go in here, right click on the data rate, and you can do apply as column. And now anywhere where there's a data rate that exists in here, we have it showing. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to go back in to my iPad. And I'm going to make sure I'm on the right Wi-Fi network. And I'm not, so I need to go back into Ruckus Live. Maybe. Where is it? Oh, it's right there. Okay, we're on it. I'll go ahead and open up Netflix again and let it stream. Play. Okay, so it's streaming the movies. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to... Oh, first of all, I need to do this. Let's go back to Unleashed real quick. Let's go to Clients, okay? What I want is I want to see the MAC address of this iPad, and I'll show you why in a second, but I'm going to copy that MAC address out. So we're going to build a filter in Wireshark to show you this traffic specifically, okay? But when I go in here, when I go to Capture and I go to Options, now for input, I want to actually do Wi-Fi, let's see, WLAN. So let's go back to... It should be on Wi-Fi 0, but it might be Wi-Fi 1 because that might be the 5 gig radio. So let's do a start on that one. Nope, I was wrong. Wi-Fi 0. Start. Okay, capturing all kinds of stuff, right? Seeing different data rates, things going on in there. I'm going to go ahead and stop it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do wlan.addr, and then I'm going to put that MAC address in there. When I hit enter, it's going to filter on what's there. So we now know that it's not on that WLAN interface, it's on something else. So if I go back to capture and options, it's not on Wi-Fi 0. It should be on Wi-Fi 1, but it wasn't picking anything up there. Clear that filter out. And it's not grabbing it. Well, let's do this. Where's my AP at? Ruckus Live, the 2.4 gigs is WLAN 32. So let's do this. WLAN 32. Uh-oh, we got another follower. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Good to have you here. Okay, let's see here. You know why? I know exactly why. Set capture Wi-Fi 1 stream. Oh. Another one. Thanks for following, guys. I appreciate it. Set that to idle. Okay. You get Wi-Fi 1 streaming. That's why. So let's go in and grab that. I know. Zip it. Let's get Wi-Fi 1. There we go. That looks better. So we're streaming on the 5 gig radio, which is what this one is. And the data rate's showing up. But if I stop this and we go back in and do the Wlan Adder. Okay. This shows us our iPad and what it's doing. So the iPad here, its data rate from the iPad to the access point is 6.5. Okay. Which is really kind of interesting because I thought, oh, we never set the BSS min rate on that other radio, remember? So if I go in WLAN list name, show WLAN name, really? There we go. Okay, showing a BSS min rate at 12. 12 and 12. So why is it so weak? This one's 13 megasecond. Pretty weak. Sort this by the data rate and see. Oh, here we go. Here's one at 72. So you get varying data rates in here. These ones are running at 58. It also shows you spatial streams, your data rate, what channel it's on, signal strength, noise level. So one thing you have to keep in mind here is, first of all, I'm streaming Netflix, so the data rate for just this one client, 58's fine. I mean, it's not going to hurt it. The stream is buffered anyways. But this is a very, very, very noisy environment. So there are a plethora of access points in this area. I mean, there's tons of them, almost too many. So it's going to be a pretty noisy environment. I've got that one running there. I have one 5 feet away from it running. So there's a lot of noise in here. So that's why. So if I got it in a more pristine environment, we'd probably see a little bit better data rates throughout, but you can see that these data rates are still pretty strong. So you can go in and see it, but you can also see what kind of traffic is going on in there, right? So here's the radio information, and this is just client to AP right now. If we wanted to grab actual traffic on it, we would have to grab that WLAN 33. Was it 33? It was 32. So we wouldn't need to grab 32. And now we'll actually be able to see where... Oh, I gotta clear that filter. Now we can see what actual traffic is going through there. So if I stop this... it's IP.addr. And if we go back to Unleashed, we can figure out, well, what's the IP address of that iPad? So our iPad is .17. So if I put this in here, now I know exactly what's going on between this device and whatever it's talking to, which is 23.246, which most likely is Netflix, because that's what it's streaming, right? So you can see that information in there. So it's a good way to just kind of go in, see what's going on your network. You know, you see your lengths. The data rate's not going to show up because it's not going to give you that data rate from client to AP. That's more of a hardware to hardware piece. This is the layer 3 piece of it going through. So we just see that traffic, and we can see all of these acknowledgements and everything going through, and it's just running through, going out to Netflix is what it's doing. I don't know if you can actually resolve these in here. Follow TCP stream. Oh, that ain't gonna work. But we could do this. .246.11.164. Oh, there we go. NetflixVideo.net. So we know exactly where it's going. I did SSH into the AP, Dane. Yep, I did. And when you do that in AP mode, once you have that piece kind of done, once you get rid or stop the capture you need to, I would recommend doing this to set capture Wi-Fi 1 idle. That'll turn the stream off. Now, if I turn this back on, I'm not going to capture anything because there's nothing being streamed out to be captured. Okay, that's how you grab it in Wireshark. It's pretty slick. Okay, all right. Got that done. Now, let's do this. Did this switch ever get managed? Oh, look at that. It did. It's working. Whew. Man, blind squirrel. Every once in a while. All right, let's check this out. So it shows you your PoE budget usage. So yours is obviously going to be different because you're going to have more access points within your home, right? It will show you which ports are working. You can reset a port if you need to. So you just highlight it, reset that port, take a few minutes. I don't even know if it's going to tell us it does anything, but Yeah, and we'll get into the upgrades. So that I'm kind of curious about too, because if we go to, this is basically just statistical, is all this is. More upgrade. Local file name. So you need to have a local file. So then you have to browse here and find that file name, which most likely would be the UFI image. But you can do it. It'll push it through here. Should make it pretty simple. I can grab... I mean, I'm more than happy to grab the software and demo it. We can do it. Why not? Let's see what happens. Icx 7150. And we need 8090D. Now the real test is how long is this download going to take? Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. We're going to be here all the time, so every Thursday. And I might do one in the morning tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. So, all right, let's save this file. Let's see how long it takes. 9 minutes. Well, that's not too bad. So we'll let that download. Dane, I'll go ahead and run it, see what happens. While that's downloading, because it is going to take a little bit, let me do this. I'm gonna throw a Be Right Back screen up real quick. What I need to do is kind of move and shuffle some of the stuff around just a little bit, because I want to be able to get this stuff unboxed and start going through it. I just need to figure out where I'm going to do it. So I might just do it right here on my desk. You'll have to see the giant mess that I live in. Yeah, and it would be a down rev, but honestly at this point I'm okay with a down rev because I want it to be on target path. But the term upgrade, it doesn't take that literally. It just says you're going to load new software to it. So we'll just let it load new software to it. And it should be good. So I think we'll let that run and see what happens, and then kind of go from there. And in fact, I think this thing might be almost done. It's telling me it's got about 30 seconds left. So let me let this thing finish. I'll unzip it. We'll dump it in there and see what happens, because once this is done, we don't really need the ICX or the AP, because we're going to do the unbox. So we'll get that going. Let's see here. Yeah, that term upgrade drives me nuts, because not everything in the world is an upgrade. Sometimes you're downgrading it. But one thing now I'm curious about is if it takes that literally and says, oh no, you're not going to a newer version, you're going to an old one. You can't do that. So let's find out together and see what happens. All right. Open that folder up. Extract it. Geez, this might take as long as the download did. You never know. I'm trying to get my life in order here. It is not working. I cleaned everything up today, getting ready for this. All right, we've got it. So let's see what happens. Let's go back here. Whoops, that's not it. Unleashed. Choose a file. Where were we? Downloads, 90, 7150. Images. Let's do router. Oh, wait. No. That's not what I wanted to do. Cancel. That wasn't the UFI image. Sorry. Okay. Just going to upload it. Let's see what happens. Yeah, right. All right. Upgrade. Let's see what you got. Oh. So the problem is, well, this is the same environment as a home. We brick it. Let's see what happens, because you only have one ICX, right? So I'm assuming it should just copy it in there, and then once it reboots, it's just going to power off the AP. So it should be fine, but let's see what happens. Yeah, Elderberry, you're right. Oh, you have two, yeah. All right, well, let's see what happens. I'm pretty sure this thing is built to say, copy the software, send the reload command. Unleashed is done with it at that point, so let's see what happens. Ready, kaboom. And then we can pull this up here, too, and see. Exactly. Hey, I mean, looking at how the entirety of this thing ran earlier, if it breaks, it breaks. Whatever. Let's let it break. Upgrading. Enhance. Enhance. Sorry, Super Troopers reference, can't help it. All right, leave that up there and see what happens. Can take at least 20 minutes. So let's see what happens. All right, while this is doing this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the Be Right Back screen up. I'm going to get all this stuff ready to kind of unbox it and get it going. It'll all be over the NDI cam, so you're done with my face for a little bit. I think I'll just do it right here. I'll get it set up to where it looks okay, and then we'll go from there. So let me get that rolling, and then I'll be back. So I gotta tweak this Be Right Back screen real quick, but we'll be good. So I'll be back momentarily. We'll see you soon. And we're back. And look at that. It's on the wrong NDI camera again. How do you like that? Unbelievable. Oh my goodness. Oh, there we go. Hey, it picked it up. All right, so here's what we got. Here's what we have. My mother's an English major. She'd probably slap me for speaking like that. Not really. She's not violent. All right, we've got an Intel NUC. I can put this out, kind of a parts list when we do this and post it to YouTube. I'll put a parts list out there. But we have an Intel NUC. It's just a mini PC kit. It's pretty slick. It has Thunderbolt, HDMI, pretty much everything we need here. You do need to buy memory for it. So I have 64 gigs of RAM that we're going to throw in here. And then I also have an M2 drive, which it's only a 120 gig drive, but that's because we are going to have network attached storage, if you can see that. So we've got a Synology DS220. Just kind of try and do this in a way that makes sense. You know, you'd think sitting in this office I'd have more room to do this, but it's just not configured for it, so. Oh, we almost lost it. All right. Let's see what we have in here. We got a power cord. We have a power brick. This is like Christmas. Aren't you jealous? Yep, Raspberry Pi, same kind of thing. Ooh, look, we got new network cables. I needed these. Not really. Got 1,000 of them here. Little teeny tiny screws that my big old fat fingers are going to lose. That's all that's in there. We do have a book, quick install guide. We'll keep that for the fun of it. And then the actual enclosure. So there's no drives in this enclosure yet. We'll put some in there. But let me get this box out of the way. And just wait until you see where I put this box. It's going to be awesome. I got a perfect spot for it. Over there. All right, there it is. Oh, look at that. Made it easy to get the drives in when that thing just pops right off of there. And perfect. Okay, so the drives are going to go in here. I'm just going to basically... Yeah, I didn't read the instructions, of course. So we'll get the drives in here. That's what the screws are for. So we'll get the drives attached to this. We'll get them slid in there. So let's do this. Let's do this NAS first. So I'm going to move this. Uh-oh. Your IT budget is gone? Man, you got to start selling out your IT services to the neighborhood so you can afford this stuff. All right. We've got a Western Digital red drive here. I'll show you. Oh. Platter drive, WD red. I'm not wearing a static strap, Dane. Don't judge me. But you could also tell your friends and family and wives, girlfriends, whatever, hey, you know what I need for Christmas this year? And see if you get the same kind of look I do. Like, what are you talking about? So this is it. Let me show you. 6 terabytes. We've got 2 of them, so we'll get this thing mounted in here. Leave a little tab on this thing. Pull. There we go. So that pops off of there. That goes on that side. Oh, check it out. Let me show you. The Icx is rebooting. So upgrade took. We'll come back and check it and then go from there. And yeah, it'll be in a RAID config. Well, I mean, we have options we can look at, but it usually does it in a RAID config. I think mine at home is in a RAID config. So I have a 4-bay at home, and it is, let me think. I've got four terabyte drives in there, so I have 12 gigs of storage. You're the DBA. You're the expert on all this. Oh boy, let's see here. Oh, that's pretty. It lined right up. Oh, no, it didn't. It does if you pull those little things out of there. Which, I don't know if I was supposed to do that, but I did it. Yeah, I do too. I mean, I was going to go with 8 terabyte drives, but they didn't have any. They were out. And I purchased all this through Newegg. So I've already made a mess. Find anything. All right, we've got screws. Trying to do this where you can see it and I can see it, so we'll see how that goes. See, this is why I grabbed 2 screwdrivers, because how big the heads on these things are. Well, if you could believe it, I grabbed one that's too big and one that's too small. We also kind of knew I was going to do that. Oh, and those caps need to stay in there. Darn it. All right. This is like that conversation. Hey, go find the guy with the fattest fingers in the building and talk him into doing this. Because that's essentially exactly what's happening right now. You know, I'm not familiar with Drobo. It's just a NAS, right? Just network attached storage. I think all these caps need to be. Caps, grommets. This is probably a grommet. I'm very good at English today, if you couldn't tell already. You'll have to ignore the lack of view going on. I'm trying to get these things slid in here so that I can get this thing together. Okay, looks clean. Slide these down in here. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, there's one. Do this. Give you a little better view. that does. All right. I know, this is riveting stuff. Yeah, I saw that. I think we scared everybody off. That's all right. This will still be recorded. And the funny thing is a lot of the stream content, the video on demand stuff gets a lot of usage, so I'm not worried about it. I'm going to do this anyways. So once we get done with Unleashed and Icx, everybody's like, all right, I'm out. See ya. Thanks for streaming. Bye-bye. Plus, they're probably just sick of me, and I don't think I'd blame them. And it's getting late, too. East Coast at 6 o'clock. All right. Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I don't even need those? What? Hold on a second. This is kind of cool. I didn't need to do this at all. Which I'm sure I just made this way more difficult than I had to. See, they made this thing so easy. I just tried to overcomplicate it, which I'm sure you're shocked by that. In my hand. Of course, leave it to me to make a mess out of something. Pause on that one. I'm going to do this other one. Because I'm going to have to finagle it. That's another English word that I just made up. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, I made that way more difficult than I needed to. All right. Ah. See what happens when you're smart? I do at home. So at home, I'm using the Synology stuff. Oh, actually, no. That's not true. I don't use my Synology for Plex. At home, I just built a CentOS box and did it, and then just ran an NFS mount to my NAS to pull it. You have to play with the buffers a little bit. So there's some tricks to do that so you don't get buffering. But I had to play with some of the NFS settings, and if I think of it tonight when I get home, I'll pull them so you have them. But they're there, so it's pretty straightforward once you get it built. But yeah, I have ESX running on a NUC at home, and then I just pulled that from CentOS. Makes it much easier to do. Come on, let go. Oh, there we go. Whew. Yeah, I could have made this way easier if I would have just stopped messing with it. But we almost have the NAS built. No pressure. There's just one person watching. Yeah, I paid for a lifetime, and now that I kind of look back on it, I'm not really sure why I did it. I did it at the time because I think I needed remote management for it, because back before the world was burning down and there was a pandemic and everybody was losing their minds, I travel a lot for work, which I really enjoy. But COVID has a nice way of putting the brakes on just about everything, right? So I was using that when I was remote, traveling, wanted, chill at night, watch a movie, that kind of thing. But now it's kind of like, well, I'm glad I did that because I have absolutely no use for it at this point. But in the future, again, I mean, I'm not one of these that's running around saying the world's going to be broken forever. So, at a certain point, it'll get back there and I'll be able to pull that stuff remotely again, There we go. Well, I'm not going to pretend to know how this thing went on there. So we'll just do like I normally do and fake it till we make it. Yeah, that looks pretty good, right? Okay, we got a NAS. So I'll have to get that plugged in. I've got to move some stuff around network-wise before I do that. But when I do it, then I'll be able to get this thing up. I'll get it formatted. I'll use Synology's formatting just because it's a little cleaner. But this also has 2 LAN interfaces on it, so I'll probably do those in a lag. So I think I might do a stream on Monday because I'll have some time to do that. And then we'll just go through and we'll start to build this stuff out. And I'll just do it on Twitch. All right, now for the fun part. Let's get this NUC out. Maybe, if I can get this cellophane off of here. So you can get these, I think the NUC was, found a deal on it. I think it was $350. The storage obviously is a little bit more. I think the drives were $150 a piece. Oh goody, more screws. Can't remember what the enclosure was. The RAM and drives and stuff like that, that's pretty typical pricing for that stuff. But yeah. Okay, and then the other thing I did at home too was I actually bought a UPS because at the time I was running pfSense on the NUC. Since then I've bought Netgate's appliance. I have an SG1100, really slick appliance. I like that thing a lot. So And that's an Amazon purchase, and I think it was maybe a couple $100. It wasn't super expensive, so. All right, I know there's cellophane on here. This is like some people's favorite part. Oh. Okay. Now I have to remember how I got mine apart. Because we still have to get the... Whoa, 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 whoa. Easy, killer. Maybe that's why it was on sale. Everything's already broke. Well, maybe it was the feet that had to come off. Yep. Alright, let's try it. Yep, that's what I had to do. So now I have storage underneath our stairs in the basement where... Yep, this will run ESXi, it'll run the VMs. We'll probably do all that on Monday because I'd like to get this stuff all set up and running next week. Make it super simple and done and easy and taken care of. Oh, I know you can't see in there. I don't know if I can get it shown to you, but there's a SATA cable and battery cable on here. There we go. There it is. That's the Nook. So we're going to do our M2 drive here and our RAM here. It'll be pretty clean. So let's do the M2 first. You wouldn't believe me if I told you, but I put my scissors away. And it's behind my green screen, so I can't get to it. Yeah, the CPU is going to be probably on the flip side of it. So it's probably underneath there. That would be my guess. I've never actually taken the board out of mine. I don't have any desire to do that. Just because I've taken laptops apart before, and that was the first time I had to question my own sanity. It was not fun. At all. I would not do that again. I don't think you could pay me to do that again. Whew. Okay, moment of truth. I don't know if you heard that, but it clicked, so that means it's in there. Yeah, my son has an MSI, and I needed to repaste because he games on it, so I had to repaste the CPU and the GPU on it. And that was terrible. It was absolutely miserable. I even took a picture of it and sent it to a buddy of mine, and he was like, "You're an idiot." Like, what are you doing? Like, take that to somebody with, you know, little laptop tools and enough patience to deal with it. So I probably should have done that. Whatever, it's done. And it still runs hot because it's an MSI. There you go. Okay. All right. Got an M2 in there. Nice. I like it. Now we need RAM. So, let's see here. Everything is stuck to me. That was too easy. Don't jinx it, right? Now the main thing comes in, will it post? Hey, I like it. There we go. So M2's in there. We've got 64 gigs of RAM. It's a 32 gig stick each. I think we're good to go. And this is designated, it shows front. This is the front, so you know we're going in the right way. Come on. Shy. One in there. Sorry, I gotta take this out of camera. Give me a second. I don't have any light over there. It does not want to fit back in that slot. There we go. Oh. There we go. Woohoo! SATA's back in. That's in. Got it. All right. I will not confirm nor deny that I was trying to put it in the wrong one. Yeah, the SSD is just going to be the ESXi install. I'll use the NAS as a data store. So when I get that up, I'll just store all the VMs there. So I'll probably partition it out. So I have, you know, a terabyte for VMs. They really don't need a lot. Plus, if you thin provision them, you know, that drive kind of grows. But I might do, you know, say 2 terabytes for the VM piece of it. And then I'll do 4 terabytes for, you know, some of the data storage I've got to do. Like these recordings get pretty big. About an hour of recording through OBS is about 2 gigs. So I just need somewhere to archive them off. And then once they're posted, you know, usually we kind of hold on to the raw recording for a while. But yeah, we'll be good there. So. Okay. That's it. We got it built. That was easy. So we have that. We got our screws. I'll move that. And now we have that. So this is what we'll be working with right here. Oops. That'll be it. It's going to be great. I'm really excited, actually. All right, let me do this. So let's go back to our demo. Look at that. We're running router code 90. So that Unleashed upgraded it, took care of it, did everything it was supposed to, which is awesome. I gotta move this. Yeah, I can. Kill a light real quick, otherwise I'll wash out. Okay, so this is what we have. It upgraded it just like we wanted it to. So if I look, it's running UFI. So if I do a show flash, it's going to show it. I'm actually going to go in and do a copy flash. I'll do secondary because I want to move primary software to secondary. So through Unleashed, it's pretty slick. You just grab the software and put it in there and manage it that way. It says it's disconnected right now. I don't know why. It was fine earlier. It's running 8090. Did it update the IP address when it rebooted, maybe? It could have, because it's running router code. So yeah, it's super easy. I think what happened is I had an IP address on it statically assigned. I went from switch code, then I go to router, it loses the IP address. So I'll show you that in a second when this finishes copying. But it makes it super simple. So yeah, do me a favor, if you get a chance tomorrow, go watch Brian's stream. He's going to be doing that at 11 Mountain on YouTube, and it's really, really informative. He does some really awesome stuff on there. And then we're going to do, probably on Monday, I'm thinking I'm going to go in and I'll do a live stream just to kind of work through some of the stuff. I've got to move some network stuff around and get the stuff attached. I might do it early in the morning. So the nice thing about Twitch is it will notify you when we go live. I'm gonna mull that over. I might do it early in the morning. It just kind of depends on what my calendar looks like, and I haven't even looked at it. So let me look here real quick while I'm at it. Yeah, maybe we'll do it in the morning because I need to get this stuff rolling. So look for me tomorrow around 9 Mountain. I'll do that. I'll do about an hour or so. Start to get this stuff building out, and then we'll go from there. And yeah, so hopefully that helps kind of answer some of the Unleashed stuff. I know that getting the ICX managed in there was a little bit difficult. I kind of expected that, unfortunately. Nope, it is... It's that... Oh, that won't work. You watch. Nightbot's not going to respond now. No, it's not. Hang on a second. Let me get you the channel. That's funny. Oh no. Maybe that command doesn't work. Maybe I don't have it in there. Anyways, that should be the channel. It'll take you to it. You'll be able to see everything there. There is tons of content up there. And here's one of the cool things, Dana. I don't know, did you see the Ruckus at Home playlist? Because it's on there. But there is tons of stuff in there. And I don't know how much of it you've gone through, but in those playlists, there is one there. Ruckus at Home. So you can also grab this one. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'll just put it in there so it's in chat. Okay, awesome. All right, let me check this. This is why our Unleashed device, or our ICX, went offline. It changed the IP address of it. Oh, it didn't. 9544, it's still there. So I don't know why it's not picking it up, but I'll look into this. So when we come back, not next Thursday, because next week, Thanksgiving, not going to be here. The following week, we'll pick it up. We'll do some more stuff with it. I want to be able to at least go in and make sure that the ICX management in Unleashed is there and pretty stable. So I'll look into that and see. I'll just make sure that we have everything going correctly with that. Okay. Yeah, that's it. And also, Dana, I'm going to do I'll show you how to stack your 7150s because I know you have 2 of them. You'll need some SFPs. So yeah, it might. I don't know. I'm not sure what this thing is doing. I think it's just being moody. It's probably as sick of me as Twitch is, but I'll show you how to stack your ICXs. You do need SFPs to do that. So you need 10 gig SFPs. The Avago ones are great. Broadcom, whatever brand you can get, a 10 gig SFP is fine. You probably only need 2. I don't think you need to do it in a ring, but you probably only need 2. We'll get them stacked together. I'll show you how to do that. If you can get your hands on 4 of them, go for it. Because that's where you get a little bit of redundancy in there. But I don't think you're going to push enough traffic to even tax a 10 gig link. But I'll show you how to do that. So we'll go from there. Okay. All right. That's it. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you. I'll probably be here tomorrow around 9 a.m. and then we'll go from there. Okay. So everybody take care. And no, for stacking, there is no license required. So you don't need to do anything. You just need to plug them in and go. It's that simple. Okay. All right. And you can get 1 gig SFPs. I don't know if I would recommend it. You can do the 10 gigs. If you can get the SFPs and just some Aqua LC to LC fiber, that stuff's usually pretty cheap. You can find SFPs on eBay like crazy. I mean, they're everywhere and they're probably pretty cheap. And since you're a DBA, you can probably go talk to the network guys at work and say, hey, kick me a couple 10 gig SFPs. They probably will. Okay, take care. Stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow around 9 a.m. Thanks, everybody.